Hey everyone, before we get started with today's show, I'd like to remind you that March Madness is upon us. Selection Sunday is this Sunday, so we will be doing our annual bracket challenge. You can find the link to our ESPN bracket challenge for both the men's and women's NCAA tournaments in our show notes, and we will also post a link on Twitter. Also keep an eye on some of our Instagrams because we sometimes post things like that. As for today's episode of the Sports Ballers, we'll be previewing the AL and NL Central for the Major League Baseball season. We'll also talk a little World Baseball Classic and the things we've seen in the first week or so of that. Some NFL free agency news and then unnews, I guess. And then a big night for somebody in D.C. Stay tuned. Welcome to the latest episode of the Sports Ballers Podcast. My name is Eric. I am joined by Corey and Evan. As always, fellas, how are we doing today?
It's a good evening.
Yeah, doing all right.
Weather's nice. Got a little fall spring. Apparently, we're supposed to get some flurries tomorrow, which, again, fall spring.
Personally, from the running standpoint, I actually am kind of looking forward to some 30s, 40s, 50s weather because these last 2 days in the 80s have been brutal for my runs. It's been incredibly uncomfortable. But I would love to just have an extended period of 60s to low 70s. That would be nice.
I run
Don't you
inside.
have a couch at your house? Just sit on that and gain a bunch of weight.
And get fat.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. I have, in the past 11 weeks of running, I have not lost a single pound net.
Ooh.
I've lost 2 pounds, gained 2 pounds, lost a pound, gained a pound. It's really kind of frustrating because I'm a little heavier than I would like to be for running.
Ooh.
I'm about 15 pounds over my running weight right now.
Well, I've said this, maybe not on this podcast, but certainly in plenty of places. I have really struggled with fat coaches, coaches that are just morbidly obese that then yell.
Fortunately, I'm nowhere near that.
No, but so I'm saying I
Yes.
respect the idea that a cross-country coach, somebody who coaches people to run, can actually still run. I don't know how many baseball coaches made me run laps while their fat asses were sitting on the bucket and damn near collapsing it. But
yeah, I'm already over 20 miles in the last 3 days this week. So
congratulations.
Yeah,
I ran 2 and change today.
There you go.
Ran is kind of a generous. I ran and walked. But anyway, let's talk about actual athletes, professionals.
Yeah, let's do it.
And let's do NFL free agency first because I think that's the kind of exciting-ish news of the last couple of days. And we'll start with Evan, your Baltimore Ravens, because they have been
We got a new
involved.
defensive end, Trey Hendrickson, now a Raven. Congratulations to him. And that's the only thing that happened, right?
You had Max Crosby for a week, but not even a week. It was
Not
more
even a week.
4 or 5 days. I don't remember exactly when the news broke.
I
that he
mean, it was
going to
like
sign.
Alejandro Villanueva was blocking him again. I had him right here, and he's gone.
Well,
Just right up the road. What?
back to Vegas for now.
Oh, my God.
So I do have to ask you this though, because now I say this admittedly, I didn't look at any salary cap implications of the Hendrickson signing versus what Crosby's number would have been had he actually been traded to the Ravens. Would you rather have Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson and your 2 first-round picks?
I'd rather have Max Crosby.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I completely disagree
I
with that.
disagree with that as well. There's no doubt in my mind that Max Crosby is the better player, but I want 2 picks in addition to having still a very, very good defensive end, a good pass rusher. The gap between Crosby and Hendrickson is not so much that it's worth giving up a first-round pick, let alone 2.
Well, and I also don't think that the Ravens are a finished product by any means. They have serious holes along the offensive line, and having a first-round pick could be used to address one of those because it's not going to work. They lost Tyler Linderbaum to the Raiders because they just spectacularly reset the market for centers. Yeah. They desperately need to replace both guards.
Yes.
Voorhees was a bum, and Falah was somehow worse. and Voorhees was the one that got benched.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a huge issue. And it's not like the Ravens are a perfect team top to bottom. And I see a lot of Ravens fans saying, oh my God, we've lost so many players. I'm like, how many of them were good? Tyler Linderbaum's the only one that I saw that I was like, oh, yeah, that's actually a pretty big loss. They're going to have to replace him. But everybody else, Isaiah Likely, okay, he was your backup tight end. You just paid Mark Andrews a bunch of money, sort of inexplicably, but you did it. And Likely had a bad year this last season.
Fumbling at the goal line on
Dropping
Thanksgiving.
the game winner against the Steelers.
Yeah.
We saw that. We were right there in the end zone.
Yeah, that end zone.
Yes, and it's just so, I'm not like, and people are like, oh, Pat Ricard. Pat Ricard's a nice player,
Yeah.
but he's a fullback. Yeah,
right?
like you can find a fullback. It'll be okay.
I think Pat Ricard would mostly be missed by not being in the Pizza Bowlies ads anymore.
I mean, those are fun ads, but
Yeah.
so.
But you can get a fullback anywhere. Like Pat Ricard was a defensive tackle from Maine, who's just he was playing both sides for a little while, and then he kind of settled into a role at fullback. But he was a guy.
Yeah. Other news, just off the top of my head, Travis Etienne, Corey's boy, signed with my boys, the Saints, which means one of my all-time favorite players is probably on his way out. Alvin Kamara is now liable to be traded by the Saints. I hope he gets to go somewhere good because he's toiled away in New Orleans for the last 5 years. But also some quarterback news. Tua Tagovailoa heading to the Falcons.
Yep.
That is
Not the Steelers.
Yeah,
And-
not the team that I had.
I had him on the Jets, so I have mixed feelings on this because obviously this means I'm going to lose the Jets 1 point that I put on him.
Yeah. I think I put him on the Cardinals or something.
But I hate the Falcons, and I was getting a little worried about the Falcons. They've got a good accumulation of talent. They just improved at the head coaching position with Kevin Stefanski, and then they ruined it all by acquiring Tua. They could have had Kyler
playing
Murray.
in a dome.
That doesn't do anything for me. Tua.
I don't
can't
think
play.
that they had a legitimate shot at Kyler Murray.
Why not?
I think Kyler wants to go play for a good quarterbacks coach like Kevin O'Connell.
Is Stefanski not one of those? I thought Stefanski was one of those offensive geniuses.
I mean, sure, but he's also kind of burned some bridges with quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield.
He couldn't figure out how to win with, reprobate Deshaun Watson. So, I don't know what to say more about that. But Tua being there does not scare me at all. Before I was
wouldn't be
okay,
too.
Falcons get a little scary, and then they get Tua, and I'm like, all right, fine. Yeah, Falcons are just as unserious as always. So.
And then I'm frustrated with my Lions so far
You guys
this
haven't really done a
offseason.
whole lot.
We traded away David Montgomery, which, on the surface is not a terrible decision. Get what you can for him. We've been phasing him out of the offense anyway as we get Gibbs more and more
Jahmyr
involved.
Gibbs, yeah.
But we traded him for a 4th round and a 7th round pick and Juice Scruggs, who really should be named Juice Scrub because he was the 78th ranked offensive lineman out of 81 by PFF last year. Terrible.
Please tell
Then
me
we went-
Falele was one of those bottom 3.
I think Falele was the worst one.
Probably was.
He has to be the
Yes.
worst.
And,
I
and
think-
actually, that's just guards. That's not including tackles. Just guards.
Falele was a guard.
Yes.
I think
but yes,
Simpson
Nominally.
probably was
I
below.
think Simpson was 2 spots ahead of Falele.
Well, that's an improvement.
That's what I said. He's a step up over Falele.
It's
And then we went and signed your boy Eric Isaiah Pacheco.
I saw that and I
for
got
some
mad
reason.
because I don't like him.
It's less than $2 million on a 1-year deal, but still, why even put him on the roster? That's frustrating. And then we lost Amik Robertson to the Commanders. I think that's a big loss because
Pacheco
Amik
for
Robertson
couch
is one of those
cushion.
guys who can shut down top talented wide receivers. He shut down he's shut down Justin Jefferson multiple times over the past 2 seasons. Not just this year, which was a down year for him anyway.
Got shut down by
shut
J.J.
down
McCarthy.
by his-
But even last year, Amik Robertson was shutting down Justin Jefferson. So that's a little frustrating. But Teddy Bridgewater's coming back to the Lions again. So
Ooh,
there's that,
okay.
I guess, as a backup.
Your lines are dumping offensive linemen, which has me excited as a fan of a team that needs a whole new offensive line.
Well, one of them is retiring, so they're not
Okay.
available to you, Evan. But I believe that's Taylor Decker, who retired.
Yeah, well, like I said, the Ravens will have plenty of opportunity to draft linemen. There are a lot of prospects in this year's draft, which we
There
will,
are,
as we're
yeah.
getting closer to that too. I mean,
Yep.
we're like 6 weeks away from the draft or so.
Yeah.
So, that's exciting times, but free agency's been big. The Commanders have been busy. Like, they've acquired
Yeah.
quite a few players.
They brought in Chigakonkwo,
Yep.
Maryland guy. Brought in Nick Cross, a DeMatha guy. I'm happy for him to be back in the area. It's awesome for him. Trying to think like who else. I mean, I mentioned Amik Robertson. That's a pretty big signing, I think,
Yeah.
for their defensive backs.
They need defensive help big time because
And then they got Adafe Owe. They brought him
Evans
in.
boy.
Yeah.
What was his name before he got drafted? It
Jason.
was Jason, right? Yeah.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Well, because we talked about him on our draft podcast. He was Jason Owe, and then because he's now a professional, he wanted to be called by his birth name instead of his, I guess, anglicized.
I didn't even remember that.
Yeah.
Americanized name. So yeah.
He signed a pretty big deal.
And then he
$100 million,
kinda bad.
4 years.
But he was good with the Chargers. After
Yeah,
the
he
Ravens
was good with the
traded him.
Chargers.
And
Maybe
who coached the Chargers defense?
Jesse Minter.
Oh yeah, well, maybe he's pretty good at what he does then.
Yeah, so like
And
Owe
then
was
Laramie
one of those.
Tunsil also to the Commanders.
Laramie Tunsil.
Uh,
I mean,
Laramie Tunsil's a legend.
in a lot of, he's a very, very good football player, and that's never going to be the thing that I
No,
remember him
because
for.
I was at the draft
That's
in
right.
2016.
That was the year that you were at it.
I was at the draft and following on my phone, and like all this news is breaking. Laramie Tunsil and smoking and all this other stuff.
That
like
mask.
Hot boxing a
That-
gas
that
mask,
mask.
with a
Oh
bong.
my
Like,
God.
yeah, like I'm, this crowd of people in the freezing cold in Chicago. I'm like, what in the world?
I mean, welcome to the NFL, I
Ravens
guess.
almost drafted him.
I mean, he was a good player. He still
Yeah.
is. So, but anyway, do we have any other free agency news to get excited about yet? Because we're still kind of early on. There's still going to be some action in the next week or so. But for right now, it seems like that's the highlights.
Nobody's signed Fa-Lele yet.
I mean, obviously, there's like a lot of other teams around the NFL that will be worth talking about as
Sure.
we get to that point. But right
After
now
Ravens-
we're focused on our Major League Baseball preview.
Yeah.
So we can get to a lot of that once the baseball season officially starts.
Yeah.
Half the Ravens signed with the Giants.
That's what I was going to point out. That was my last note. Is that a large exodus towards Harbs.
Yeah.
And-
Darius Washington, Isaiah Likely, Pat Ricard, I think.
So basically, all the
Somebody
guys
else?
that played for the team that resulted in Harbaugh's firing are going to go to his new team and somehow make them good.
Well, I mean,
That doesn't
make
sound
the-
like a good plan.
that sounds like an upgrade over the Giants, being eliminated from the playoffs by
That is
Thanksgiving
true.
every
It
year.
is better than what the Giants had.
They're paying him $20 million a year to coach, being a little better than what they had. They're supposed to be a Super Bowl contender at that rate. Like,
I mean, well, the Giants think they are.
I
don't see
the Giants are wrong. So
The Giants are dumb.
yes, they are incorrect, sir. All right, so that does it for football for the time being. Again, draft coming up. I've started my prep. I know Corey has a little bit too, because I'm trying to be a little bit more prepared this year because football draft is fun. But let's move on to baseball. And before we get to our central previews, which we're just dying to do because these are the most fun divisions ever, let's talk a little World Baseball Classic. Specifically the United States started off very, very well in this tournament. Won their first 3 games. And then got themselves in a little bit of trouble because they lost to the Italians, which were mostly also Americans, but nevertheless, they were Italian-Americans. But
Wait till you find out about Team Puerto Rico in this
yes,
tournament.
also Americans.
Yeah.
Really?
Who would have known? We're going to deport Bad Bunny back to America or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, these dumbasses. All right.
Puerto Rico's president must be an idiot.
That guy's crazy. But anyway, so the
Did you hear he's renovating his house right down the street from here?
So the United States lost to Italy, but that wasn't really the big headline because Italy's got actually a pretty good team. Like they've got that
He's
whole
the
roster.
best baseball players in the whole world.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys are major leaguers. Like when you think of Italy, you're probably thinking of like Italian nationals playing baseball. I would like our chances against whoever's playing baseball in Italy instead of playing soccer or whatever. So, but that's not the case here. These are Major League Baseball talent. And so losing to them is no shame because they've been great. I believe they've won every game they played. They're playing Mexico now, I believe. I'm not sure what the score is because, again, internet is a struggle in here. But it wasn't so much the fact they lost. It was what Coach Mark DeRosa said after the loss. He pulled a Ron Rivera, who a few years ago infamously admitted that he didn't realize that the Commodes had been eliminated or could be eliminated if they had lost a certain game in his post-game press conference. Well, this is similar in that D-Row thought that the team had already punched their ticket to the quarterfinal round because they had won 3 games and had only lost 1. Well, as it turns out, no, that's not true. Because Mexico could potentially take that spot from them if they beat Team Italy and score enough runs. And D-Row somehow was clueless about this.
Well, Italy is currently winning 1-0, but it's only in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
So I think the parameters are for Mexico to advance instead of the United States that they would have to win and score more than 4 runs. So basically like a Papa John's deal type of thing or something like that. So free pizza, but also the United States is out.
I did not know that Aaron Nola is Italian.
I mean, you could kind of figure that one out.
Can I? Is Nola an Italian name?
Yeah. Now, some of those guys don't have Italian surnames because they're probably Italian on their mom's side or something. But regardless, the point is, Evan, you were hot and bothered about this.
I'm so irritated, right? Because like we were talking before the show, and Eric, you compared this to Colton Cowser striking out with the bases loaded in the playoffs, and while that's sort of egregious and he didn't come through, at least the other team was trying, right? But like this colossal blunder at a D-Row here, like there is no opponent on the other side trying to defeat him. He wasn't brainwashed or hoodwinked or bamboozled, right?
Led astray or run amok.
Yeah, he just didn't
deceived.
know, right? Like, that's the basic job to me, and he failed at that. Like, this is a tournament, my guy. You gotta win.
Yeah, and you need to understand the parameters to advance because the implication was that, again, credit to Italy for winning the game, but
United States guys were partying the night before and were playing like they were hungover.
Yeah, and they were also not necessarily putting their best 9 on the field because, hey, let's get other guys playing time because we don't really need to win this one. Well, it turns out it's pretty important that you did, and you did.
Brandon Hyde's managing Team USA all of a sudden.
Yeah, so the comparison I made, to be clear, I'm not saying that the crimes were similar. It was more about my disposition towards that person, like, where I liked Mark DeRosa a lot. I liked him on TV. I didn't mind him in this role because it's, World Baseball Classic. I'm not going to nitpick this. This isn't a nit. This is a colossal failure. And this is just sort of this is a moment where I'm like, am I sure I like this guy anymore? Like, this is insane that this blunder is unacceptable. Like, I mean, completely and totally unacceptable.
He should not be the manager for Team USA for World Baseball Classic 2029.
I don't know.
Not a chance.
Honestly, this might sound harsh. It's hard to maintain credibility as a baseball TV guy when you're that guy. Like, you're the guy that
you're supposed to know ball.
Yeah, like I tuned into MLB Network to be entertained first and foremost. It's a television show. But I also expect the people on the show to know ball. And if you're the dum-dum that did this, I mean, it affects things. It's again, not a one-to-one here, but it's understandable why people might say that same thing about our guy, Dan Orlovsky. The guy that ran out of the back of the end zone for no reason, is the guy that's going to tell me about football.
The end zone is sacred, Dan.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it was just a massive mistake, but the United States, as it currently stands, is still alive in the tournament and stands a very good chance of advancing, but we'll see how this game goes tonight.
I mean, baseball is weird and random, right? Like, there was an electrician for, I want to say the Czechia team?
I thought it was Australia.
Who was just dealing in the Tokyo Dome against Japan.
It's one of the best teams in the world, and this dude
struck out Shohei Ohtani, making him look silly.
took PTO to come pitch today.
Yeah,
He
he had to ask for time off of his actual job to come pitch against Shohei Ohtani.
And he dominated him.
And,
That's incredible. Like these
Ohtani's-
are why we like this stuff.
Yeah.
Though. Like these stories are part of the
Ohtani
appeal.
struck out so pathetically, like his batting helmet fell off, like Bartolo Colon.
I mean, if you get a chance to emulate Big Sexy, you got to do it.
Yeah.
Like what can you say about that? Corey,
Ohtani
have
did not
you
hit
watched
home
any of the action? I know it's kind of,
I've had no time.
I didn't think so, but I figured that I would.
I barely have time. I've barely had time to start like scouting some of these players for the draft. I think I've only gotten through like 5 or 6 of them.
Oh, well, at least you still have some time.
I have some time.
Yeah, that might be a Waffle House task
That's-
too. Like, bring
Oh,
your
I'm
computer.
definitely gonna be bringing my computer to Waffle House. I still gotta figure out exactly when I'm doing that, but it may be April now. But it hopefully will be before the draft, so that
yeah.
I can
So you
use
can
that
actually
time
take
to
that to
do some
prep, yeah.
scouting.
Yeah, that's probably a good plan.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll have to stop by then.
So shout out to Team Canada, who I believe won today to advance to the quarterfinal round for the first time in this tournament's history, which again, not very long. It's started 2006.
Sixth one.
Yeah, Canada won 7-2 against Cuba.
Yeah, so shout out to them. That's pretty impressive for them. But let's get to Major League Baseball, unless we have anything else to add. Doesn't seem like we do. These, as we've already kind of prefaced, are not our favorite divisions. Both of our teams, Corey's Yankees and our Orioles, play in the AL East. We will get to them next week. But the Western teams have pretty solid squads too, like interesting players and things like that. Central is a little dry, so apologies if we don't seem as enthused. Because I thought we were vibing last week with the baseball stuff. I felt good. Like I was like, let's go, baseball's back. And now we got to slug through the Central. So
Slog.
without further ado, let's start in the NL like we did last week. And we'll start at the top of the division from last year. The Milwaukee Brewers won this division, had the best record in the National League. I think they had the best record in all of baseball. 97-65. They lost to the Dodgers, though, in the postseason. Last year, this team kind of felt like just got hot and wasn't really that good type of team. And I think that kind of got exposed in the playoffs. And that's kind of how I feel about them now. Like, I don't see like a particularly impressive team here.
That's how I feel as well. They added Gary Sanchez. Like, okay, great.
Did they add Gary Sanchez? I thought they already had him.
He signed as a free agent.
But he was there in 2024 because we were watching him hit home runs.
Yes, I
off
think
of
that's
Tyler
right, but I don't
Wells.
think he was there in 20. I don't
it's
remember where he was in
2026
25.
Right, so
yeah.
like, what happened in 2025 with Gary Sanchez?
No idea.
I couldn't tell you, but they signed
he
him.
on
He
the
was on the
Orioles?
Orioles. That's right.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we traded for him. Or no, we signed him as a backup catcher. Yeah.
But yeah, they signed
So-
Gary
so the
Sanchez
Kraken.
and they signed Luis Rengifo.
And Akil Baddoo.
The thing to be excited about with the Brewers is going to be their rotation. It's really strong. It's the main reason why they won 97 games. Their bullpen was consistently good. You have Brandon Woodruff, and then you also have Jacob Mizrowski, who had an incredible few starts in 2025 to end the season. And if that continues, if that doesn't fall away as we get into 2026, this goes from being a top 10 rotation to maybe even a top 5 rotation in baseball, I think. The problem is that they don't really have a lot in terms of firepower offensively. Last year, their bread and butter was like being crafty, being patient at the plate, having some speed, but you actually have to put the bat on the ball, and they weren't consistent in that very important aspect of baseball. I'm not too concerned about their pitching. It's going to be the offense that's going to be a struggle, but that may be enough in a weak division like the Central.
Yeah, I'm a little more worried about their rotation than that. I think there's some regression candidates here. Brandon Woodruff's a fine pitcher, but I don't really consider him like a dominant ace. Like, if you were to ask me, is he a top 10 pitcher in baseball? I would say probably not.
It was saying he signed a qualifying offer, so like it's not like they signed him to like a big free agency super mega deal like Garrett Cole or something.
Well, and it's interesting that he took the qualifying offer because for a long time that was something that players didn't take.
Yeah, that means he wasn't going to get more money elsewhere.
Right. So, but I mean, I do think the rotation is pretty solid and it's deep. Like they've got players they don't have any real weaknesses there.
They have
Again,
Dayton Lane Hall.
Well, yeah, because we traded him.
Yeah.
And
Along
again,
with
they
Joey
have a
Ortiz.
really strong bullpen.
Yeah,
with,
bullpen's
Trevor
strong.
Meagle,
Yep.
Abner Uribe.
Yeah,
DL Hall is a pretty fun name.
Dayton Lane.
Yes, we saw his MLB debut in Tampa.
We did.
That was random as hell.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on that weekend. All right. Also, again, I noted Joey Ortiz, former Oriole. He was in the Corbin Burns trade from 2024. He is slated to be their everyday shortstop. His first year with them, he was pretty good. Last year, not so much.
Last year he
struggled
was
at the
terrible.
plate. Yeah, he struggled a lot, but he's going to get another shot. He's projected to be kind of an average starter, but based on what we saw last year, he's not going to live up to that.
No,
But
he was,
based on what
he
we
was
saw
below
2 years
league
ago,
average
yeah.
in OPS. And
Yeah.
I think he was the only player on their roster who you could say that about.
Yeah, because it was pretty much 1 through 9. There were no easy outs, but again, the problem is they just didn't have the thumpers. So
Christian Yelich, what's his deal?
he's there still,
Mm-hmm.
but he's kind of old and he gets hurt a lot.
Yeah.
He's kind of old. He's younger. He's younger than you.
Would you want me on the field?
I mean, Brandon, I want you out there because you're left-handed. You know,
I mean, I'd be glad to take a MLB minimum check for a game. That's a little chunk
For
of
like a
change.
quarter-
Jackson
$250,000.
Churio is the exciting player on
Yeah,
this roster,
sure.
offensively.
And he's kind of a guy that I'm looking to see. Is he going to take that next step? And him and William Contreras are obviously their 2 best bats.
Yep.
I'm expecting a little regression from Bryce Turang because he had a great season last year, but it was a lot of his advanced numbers were predicated on his fielding, and those are always a little bit wishy-washy year to year.
Yeah.
And also, he might not hit the same way as he did. He's probably at his base like an average hitter with a plus glove, which is a damn good player, but he's probably not going to be, a 4 or 5 WAR guy like he was last year. So let's move on to the Cubs, unless, Evan, you got anything else on the Brew Crew?
no.
All right, so the Cubs have a pretty darn good team. They were 92 and 70 last year. They actually added Alex Bregman, who was on the Red Sox last season. And Bregman, while not quite MVP level that he was in his early days with the Houston Astros, is still an all-star level third baseman. They've got very good players, I think, at pretty much every position on this team. Like they don't have a whole lot of weaknesses in their lineup. Their only weakness I noticed was actually a DH. Like they're probably going to have like a by committee situation there because they just don't have some David Ortiz type.
That's kind of what the DH is for, though. Like, somebody to hit for the pitcher.
Well, yeah, but you want that hitter to be good. You don't want him to just be some bench guy. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I don't disagree.
yeah. So like, it is a hole in the lineup if your DH is a 240 hitter that doesn't hit any home runs. Like, you need somebody that can thump there.
Your DH is batting ninth.
Yeah, I think one big concern I have for the Cubs is the loss of Kyle Tucker.
Right.
I think that's a huge loss for the Cubs offense, and that's going to be really hard to make up for. Even bringing in guys like Alex Bregman. I'm interested to see how the trade for Edward Cabrera works out because people were calling it a blockbuster trade, but Edward Cabrera isn't that good of a pitcher to me. Like he has a really good breaking ball. He's got good off speed, but his run value on fastballs was -12 last year. And the fastball is typically the most important pitch that you have in your arsenal.
It's usually the one you throw the most.
Yeah.
So
if you have that bad of a run value on the fastball, like, what are we doing here? So, he is somebody who throws a lot more of, his changeup, his curve, his slider. Like, fastball is actually, I think, his 5th most frequent pitch, but still, like, to be that bad with the fastball, all you got to do is wait for that one to come out and take advantage of it. So I'll be very interested to see how that move turns out for their rotation because it seems like he's going to end up headlining it. It's going to be him, Jameson Taillon, and a couple other guys that I don't really know much about, and then Shota Imanaga.
I mean, Jameson Taillon will always be to me, the guy that got drafted between Bryce Harper and Manny Machado.
Oh my
Like,
God.
There you go.
He's like the Darko Milicic of that draft, where it's just like, oh hey, we got LeBron, and then the next team got Carmelo Anthony, and then somebody else got Dwayne Wade, and you got Darko Milicic. So
Or Sam Bowie.
Sam Bowie, that's a tough one too.
But whatever you make of the rotation, like, again, Kyle Tucker's a huge loss, but this offense is still going to be very good. You have Ian Happ still. You have Pete Crow Armstrong, who was really good last year. You have Nico Horner. Carson Kelly comes in to play catcher, and he's
Dansby
had
Swanson's still
some
there,
good
too.
seasons.
He's a
Yeah,
good ball
Swanson's
player.
still
Dansby
there.
Swanson?
Michael Bush is still there.
Yeah.
So you still have a lot of good bats.
Mm-hmm. And they play good defense too up the middle, especially.
Yeah.
Like Pete Crow Armstrong's one of the best defensive outfielders. Horner and Swanson up the middle. That's kind of what you want. Is like you really want to have those up the middle spots with like solid defenders. And shout out to our boy Hunter Harvey.
Hunter
Evan.
Harvey.
Yes.
I mean, I just hope he stays healthy, right? Like he had horrible luck on top of just being injured all the time. Like he got hit by a comebacker and it broke his leg and he was out. And then he got Tommy John surgery and then shoulder surgery and then probably something else. I'm like, son of a major leaguer, Orioles first round pick. And, it's unfortunate what happened to him.
Well, he's expected to actually.
It looks
do
like
good
there's
things.
he's somebody they're counting on.
Yeah, like he's not just a guy. He's like by Fangraph's projections for wins above replacement, which is a little tough for bullpen guys, but he was their number one guy. And it's not like their bullpen's bad. So like they've like their bullpen's going to save them because I think their rotation is kind of weak. And so their ability to score runs, their ability to prevent runs with their defense, and their bullpen is what's going to make them probably a wild card contender. Or I mean, not wild card. I think this is probably the favorite to win the division. They're definitely the betting favorite to win the division. They're plus 125. Obviously, them and the Brewers are going to probably be the top teams because the rest of the division is pretty stinky. And we'll move on to.
And we'll dive right into it right now.
Yeah, let's do it. The least stinky.
Of
Maybe.
the remaining.
Maybe.
I think so.
You think I'm about to say the Reds, right?
Yeah.
I might surprise you with that. But the Reds,
Okay.
The Reds, actually, I don't think this is a bad team. But they're not a good team. Like, they were mediocre last year. 83-79 was their record. Ellie De La Cruz, and then a bunch of nothing in that lineup. Like, that's it.
Eugenio Suarez.
Okay, fine. But, like, he's... They got
In
Brian Hayes,
that-
too. Like,
They do?
yeah.
Oh.
What is the
weird.
most batter-friendly park in baseball?
Probably Great
Whichever
American.
one the Orioles are pitching it.
Okay.
Well, no, the most batter-friendly park is probably Coors Field.
Okay, fair with
Yeah.
the altitude.
Yeah.
But
Great American's
beyond
up
that,
there. If it's not
the
second,
Reds are one of the most
it's
batter-friendly
top five.
parks.
We know.
especially
we
in
watched
terms
Joey
of home
Votto hit a
runs.
fly ball home run, and Evan had to
Eugenio
go take a walk.
Suarez was hitting a lot of home runs in Arizona. I think that number is going to go up pretty substantially in Cincinnati.
Arizona's also hitter-friendly because it's at altitude.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
I didn't
It
realize
is.
that it's at altitude.
Like it's
Okay.
not
So-
Coors Field,
okay.
but
I mean-
it's Chase Field has advantages.
All right. So
Yeah.
And Eugenio Suarez hits bombs like he did for the Mariners,
He
and
hit
that's
home
definitely
runs
not
for the
hitter-friendly.
Mariners.
Yeah.
No one
Nobody
else
does that.
Did that. Except for Ken Griffey Jr. That's it.
And that was in the Kingdome.
Ooh.
I don't know. You guys, the Reds took away J.J. Bleday from the
J.J.
Athletics.
I just remember his name from when I was like really into following prospects because that's all Orioles fans had to root for.
I just know his name because it was constantly being called by the woman who does the Athletics broadcast.
That gets
she
roasted all the time, yeah.
Unfortunately, but she loves to cice J.J. Bleday's
Isn't
name.
she the
She's got like
great
all the rhymes for
granddaughter
Bleday.
of Harry Carey?
I have.
May-
Is
I-
that a thing?
I thought it was.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It's,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
That explains the job, I guess.
I
don't
enjoy
know.
her calls. I like the energy she brings. She makes some
Somebody's gotta
mistakes
bring
here and
energy.
She
there.
blows some calls.
She blows some calls,
hard.
but I enjoy her energy.
dear.
In any case, the Reds have I think, dominant pitching staff when healthy.
Yeah,
Hunter Green,
being
Brady
hurt,
Singer, Andrew Abbott, Chase Burns, Nick Lodolo. Find a weakness in that in that
Well,
rotation.
it's
for
currently
me.
Hunter Green's having
Didn't he get
arthroscopic surgery. He's going to be out for like half the season.
Well,
so.
yeah, that's fair.
Well, there's a
That's
weakness.
why I did.
Yeah.
That's why I did stipulate
Yeah,
when
that's
healthy.
that's tough.
But
Like,
even so, having 4 strong
they're
arms in
still
that
good,
rotation,
even
you're
with him
still going to be
missing
good.
time.
And once he does come back, which hopefully he will at some point, they're going to be excellent. And then they got some decent arms in the bullpen. Emilio Pagan is a good pitcher. I don't know. There's definitely some question marks here, but I don't think that they can win the division. I think that they could finish as high as second. I think you're probably right. The Cubs should be the favorite in this division. I think that the Reds and the Brewers could both compete for that second spot, somewhere around or a little bit above 500, which gives them a shot to make the playoffs in this expanded playoff field that baseball has decided is so wise to bring into the fray.
yeah. Evan, anything else to add on the Reds?
No, the Reds feel like for my whole baseball watching life, for the most part, the Reds have just been uninteresting. It's like Ken Griffey Jr. was there, but he kept getting injured, and then they never really. I got nothing on the Reds.
Yeah, the Big Red Machine days are long gone. Speaking of teams that are red and the glory days are behind them, the St. Louis Cardinals last year went 78-84. They had Nolan Arenado on the team, and now they don't. He's somewhere else. And he wasn't particularly good anymore anyway. I don't have a whole lot to say about this team other than Mason Wynn's pretty good. But that's kind of it. Like, I didn't see a whole lot here to get excited about it. And I really don't like the starting rotation. Like, I think it looks terrible.
I don't know if this is supposed to be a rebuild or not, but you get rid of Sonny Gray, Wilson Contreras, Brendan Donovan, Nolan Arenado. All of them gone from a team that already was not that great last year.
Yeah, sub 500.
They had Ramon Urias though. Ooh.
So this rebuild, reset, whatever you want to call this is not going to be a great year for the Cardinals. I think that they are probably should be the betting favorite to finish last in this division, in my opinion, based on everything that they lost and the fact that they didn't really add anybody of note.
Well, the Cardinals,
Ryan Stanek, okay, Dustin May, whatever.
isn't he
Dustin
the
May's
Carrot
that
Top
guy.
kid?
Yeah, Carrot Top guy.
Yeah.
The first pitcher post or mid-pandemic, because he was pitching for the Dodgers the first baseball game, like in July of 2020. And everybody's like, who's this, frizzy redheaded dude with the giant ass on the television? And
The guy the Orioles could have had instead of Dean Kramer. That's who he was.
well, Dean Kramer's been better.
That is true.
Yeah, and Dustin May is about to be the ace in this rotation.
Oh dear.
That would have been a great idea before 6 different Tommy Johns, but now like Dustin May looked like he was going to be the real deal, and then he just kept getting hurt.
Yeah. The Cardinals, their ownership, they've kind of been, just cashing checks and not writing them, right?
Yeah,
like
apparently not.
they don't spend money anymore.
At least they still have Lars Nootbaar.
I wrote him down just because I wanted to say his name.
Yeah.
I spelled it
Beat you
right
to the
too
punch.
in my notes. Lars Nootbaar.
Yes, Lars Nootbaar. They have him.
Scandinavian as hell, and it's great.
And it's just like, they're sort of resting on their laurels. Like, oh, we're the St. Louis Cardinals, and we have the best fans in baseball. Like, well,
Stan Musial,
Yeah.
Bob Gibson,
and
Red
Red
Albert
Schoendienst, these guys. Like, okay, none of those people are playing anymore. You don't get to stay the best fans in baseball if your team sucks forever. Ask the NFL team that plays down the street from here, right? They used to get 90,000 people in the blazing heat for a 1:00 game against the Raiders, and now, over the course of years and years, it dwindled away.
They have taken so many seats out of that stadium.
Yeah.
A big commode just because they can't put asses in them.
Yeah.
It's the whole point of a commode is to have people sitting. It's just like, well, couldn't do it. All right.
Busch Stadium is on my list this year, though. We'll try to get
Yeah,
out there.
the Orioles are playing in late August out there. So, all right, let's move to the last place team from 2025, the Pittsburgh Pirates. 71-91 was their record last year, owned by Bob Nutting. Because he can't mention. You gotta mention the fact. I would be remiss if I didn't. So my first note here was Joey Bart is still here and still sucks.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Obviously the best player on this team is Paul Skeens. We all know that.
Yep.
Cy Young Award winner. He's incredible. But we are also on Connor Griffin watch this year. He's the number 1 prospect in baseball. And he is expected, he may break camp with the Pirates. I'd be surprised if he does, purely because we know how baseball works, and damn it, they're going to manipulate that service time for as long as they possibly can, which might only be like another year or so before we get locked out here. But like they're going to do it. But, actually, this is a dysfunctional franchise with terrible ownership that doesn't spend any money. I kind of like this team. Like, I don't like them like playoffs, but I kind of like this team.
It's a fun team. It's an interesting team. It's a team that has shown that they can score a lot of runs in a game. They're just not consistent in doing so. And it seems like they were most of the time allergic to doing so when Paul Skeens was on the mound. You have Bubba Chandler behind him. You have Mitch Keller, who's still a solid pitcher. You have Braxton Ashcraft and Jose Urquidy to start the year at least. Urquidy. At some point, Jared Jones is going to get healthy and come back. And when he's been healthy, Jared Jones has shown that he has some good stuff. He has elite stuff. He just needs to be more consistent, and that's going to come from being healthy enough to play consistently, which has really been his Achilles heel to this point in his career. You still got O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah, he's good.
Mm-hmm.
I like O'Neal Cruz a lot.
It's gigantic.
They brought in. They have Ryan O'Hearn.
Ryan O'Hearn.
Let's go.
They also added Marcel Ozuna, who
they brought in Marcel Ozuna, who I'm not a big fan of, but he's a big bat.
You shouldn't be a big fan of Marcel Ozuna because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Born one day before me. I just learned just now.
Interesting. They have Jared Triolo and Spencer Horwitz.
Okay.
Fun names.
I mean, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
The Orioles once again play in Pittsburgh in early April this year, which is annoying.
That is annoying.
Like, can we get like a midsummer game when it's not just a nightmarishly
snowing
cold?
sideways?
There is still the chance that Andrew McCutchen re-signs with the Pirates. He's still a free agent right now.
I mean, that's fielded stuff, but who cares? Like, he's washed. And I love McCutchen.
This is saying he's on the Rangers. Is he not on the Rangers anymore?
Andrew McCutchen?
Yeah.
I didn't see him on the list of names.
If he is, and that's very new.
Well, I'll check into that. So my hot take about the Pirates is that I think...
he debuted yesterday with the Rangers, so he just signed with them.
So
okay.
My hot take about the Pirates is I think they finish in 3rd place in this division this year. That's my hot take. My hottish take was that they would finish ahead of
I could
Cardinals.
See it.
Like the are
you putting them above the Reds or the Brewers?
Reds.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm doing it.
I feel like there's 2 tiers in this division. There's the Cubs and the Brewers, and then there's the other 3.
I think there's 3 tiers. I think it's the Cubs, and then the next 3, and then you've got the Cardinals at the bottom.
In the basement. Yeah, I would agree more with
Corey. I really think that the Brewers, the Reds, and the Pirates could finish in almost any order. I think that 2nd place is probably above the Pirates' ceiling, but I think that they could finish ahead of either of the other teams. I just don't think they'll finish higher than both of them.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's move to the probably even less exciting AL Central. All right. So let's talk Guardians. They won this division somehow last year. Just an epic choke job by the Tigers after those tools decided to do the Trump dance, and then they lost like 14 straight games, which was fitting. But the Guardians went 88-74 and won the division because, of course they did. They've got Jose Ramirez. He's great. They also have, and I used an expletive in my notes because I can't stand this player, Stephen Kwan.
Oh, God.
Yes. And again, Stephen Kwan is probably a wonderful guy, and he's a really good baseball player.
No fault of his own.
Like, this is entirely because of people who root for the Cleveland Guardians and their stupid-ass Twitter guy who was complaining all through 2022 that somehow Stephen Kwan was being overlooked for these big market stars from Baltimore and Seattle for Rookie of the Year when it was Adley Rutschman and Julio Rodriguez were the 2 main candidates. But I digress. the Guardians are, same as pretty much they were last year. Coaster Studios is probably their best pitcher, so, there's that. But, other than that, like, if they got Jose, they got a bad offense. That's it.
And they're named the Guardians instead of the Spiders.
That was a whiff.
Last year, they won 8 more games than their Pythagorean one-loss record.
Yeah.
Which should not be a thing that happens.
It's in the upper bounds of realistic for a team. Like,
yes.
It's not insanely lucky, but it is. You were certainly the most lucky team in baseball last year.
Yeah, it defies reason.
The team defied reason. They were winning in the dumbest ways possible.
You got Bo Naylor out there. Like, this is not a good team, but they might be the best in this division simply because of how bad this division is.
You see,
I don't think that they are, but they could be.
I wrote down they're grateful for the White Sox.
Yeah.
Like, because the White Sox will keep the heat off of them, because I don't think they're going to be very good this year. I mean, they lost Clase to whatever gambling scandal
or something.
Did he go to jail, or is he just out of the league?
I mean,
I think he's in jail.
Okay, so they actually did throw him behind bars. Okay, because that's awesome.
I mean, it's still not as awesome as Esteban Loaiza, who was
a drug kingpin in
drug
his free
kingpin.
time.
Starting the All-Star game for the White Sox when they're hosting it.
All right, so he's not in jail right now. He was released on a $600,000 bond.
Okay.
Well, he can float it with his gambling money, I hope.
And his legal team claims that he can still earn a massive baseball contract.
I mean, why not? You can run for president in prison.
But who's going to sign a player who is literally purposefully throwing the first pitch of every appearance in the dirt to win money?
He was still the best closer in baseball.
Look across town, right? Who's look at the quarterback in Cleveland, right? Like, who's going to sign that guy? Oh, wait. They signed him right away.
Gave up 3 first-round picks and gave him the most guaranteed
Yeah.
money ever. Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's at least 2 teams worse than the Guardians.
I mean, there's plenty of competition for bad teams in this
Yeah.
division, so it wouldn't shock me if they weren't that bad. But so Evan, do you have anything interesting to add about this team?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. All right, let's talk about the Tigers, who might actually be good. They have a guy named Dillon Dingler. Just, he plays catcher and he's good.
He's expected to start.
Yeah, he's good. They still have Spencer Torkelson,
Yes.
who Evan and I love to make fun of.
Yes.
And they got your boy Gleyber Torres,
They got my guy Riley Green.
country singer Riley Green. Yes, I got you. But what about Gleyber Torres?
That was Gleyber Day.
Care about Gleyber
Gleyber
Torres.
Day.
He's not a Yankee anymore. I don't care about him.
Gleyber Day.
I have a Gleyber Torres mini bobblehead.
That's cool for you.
Yeah.
I don't care about Gary Sanchez anymore either.
I think one of the most
Barely cared about him when he was a Yankee.
I'm about to make like the cheesiest joke of the podcast, so bear with me. They have a prospect, shortstop named Kevin McGonigal, and the best thing he could do is transfigure Javier Baez into smoke because he sucks and doesn't belong on this team. And as long as Baez is here, I think
Baez El Mago.
El Mago. He sucks. He's terrible.
Just squib them.
I don't think
Yes,
that
he's a
Baez
squib.
is slated as a starter.
He's
for
not,
them,
but
so-
he's expected to start the season at shortstop because McGonigal's going to get played out of the lineup because of service time manipulation. They need to get his ass in the lineup immediately.
I'm not sure who they have slated to start at shortstop, but I don't see either name on their list of their projected lineup.
And on Fangraphs, he's projected to get 133 plate appearances at the shortstop position. So somebody thinks he's going to be
Baez?
playing his. Yeah, he'll be splitting time between that and the outfield.
133 is too much.
Too many,
that's
yes.
Like, what is that, like a quarter of the season? A fifth
Close
of the season?
enough, yeah. Like, and it shouldn't be that way. Like, Javi Baez is so washed and so trash and so cancerous that like they need to find a way to get rid of him. Just cut him. Like a serious, a living, breathing franchise would cut him loose.
Yeah.
But aside from that, this team is good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the rotation is going to be really strong. Obviously, you got Tarek Skubal at the top, but then they also brought in Framber Framber Valdez. They bring
Huge.
Justin Verlander back on a 1-year deal, and I don't know how much he has left.
Whatever
but
you get out of him, you're
Yeah,
Going
you
for
get what you
300
can.
wins in the next
They
couple
added
years.
Kenley Jansen in the bullpen, who has been a little bit rough the past year or two, but I think he still has
He's still
enough
a-
in the
he's-
tank that
he's
he
got
can be valuable.
useful arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's not completely done. He's just not what he used to be 10 years ago when he
Yeah.
was a dominant.
And then
closer.
rounding out the rotation, you have Casey Mize, who's a solid arm, and you have Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, Jack Flaherty.
Yeah.
I also see on here that the Tigers have Orioles legend Jahmai Jones.
Oh, who was on the Yankees was that last year or 2 years ago?
I think that was 2 years ago. I don't think
Yeah.
he was with us last
And he
year.
was helping us, the Orioles, win games with the Yankees. Because he certainly didn't help the Orioles win games when he was with the Orioles. But he did start a civil war on Orioles Twitter, which was quite something. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, this has got to be the favorite in this
Yeah.
division.
I mean, easily.
But like they were the favorite last year, I think.
Yeah, and they
somehow
did
They were
Trump
leading
dance
it the
and-
whole
Yeah,
time.
and they lost like 14 straight games. It was insane.
And then they went to the ALCS anyway, right? Or
Well, no, they
Guardians.
beat the Guardians in
wild
the
card
wild card
series.
series, and then they lost to the Mariners in a very close 5-game series in the division
okay.
round. And then the Mariners lost in a really competitive series against the Blue Jays. And then the Blue Jays, it was a heartbreak conga line that entire run through the bracket. But
Heartbreak conga line.
anyway, let's move on to the Royals just because like
They're next.
they're next, and we can talk about them. Bobby Witt's good.
Mm-hmm.
They got Pasquantino. He's fun on Twitter.
Salvador Perez is
He's still there.
okay.
They've got some good pitchers.
They got your guy Jonathan India.
Yeah, I like Jonathan
They
India.
have Maikel Garcia.
Okay, and they also got Cole Reagans is a really good pitcher, and
Yeah.
Michael Waka and
Waka
Bubic
Waka.
are pretty solid. But again, like this, they had some help with the bullpen. They got Charlie Sheen. They got Matt Strahm. Like those are some decent players, but like they just don't have any lineup depth.
I just love that you call Carlos Estevez.
That's what Charlie Sheen's
It is
actual
his
name
actual
is.
name.
So
I
yeah,
love it. I love
Like,
it.
Charlie Sheen's a stage name.
They added John Means to the on a minor league deal.
Shout out John
Okay.
Means.
Kansas native John Means.
I think the more interesting pickups would be Isaac Collins and Lane Thomas, but I don't know how much either of them really.
Does Lane Thomas
I
still
mean,
have
I
any gas in the tank? Like, he hasn't really
I
been
think they
relevant.
move the needle because of how bad the Royals are, not because they're like excellent players.
Yeah, they're just good enough to make the Royals a little better because the Royals are starting from the bottom. Now we're here. So,
Yeah, but I'm not even sure that both of them are going to end up, playing every day. Like
Yeah.
Isaac
Seth
Collins
Lugo.
probably has the easier pathway to being an everyday starter than Lane Thomas, but yeah.
Is it alright to still hate the Royals? I can't stand them.
Oh,
It's okay.
I hate
Like-
the Royals too.
Like,
Why do you hate the Royals?
It goes back to the All-Star game when
the Robinson?
Oh,
the
no,
Robinson
they
Cano
booed him when
situation.
His dad was pitching to him.
yeah,
Okay.
that rubbed me the
well,
wrong
he
way,
didn't
so I
pick,
haven't liked them ever since.
Country Breakfast for the home run derby.
What?
Wasn't that about Billy Butler?
I have no idea what it was about, but they booed him and his dad.
Yeah,
I
remember
didn't like that, so I don't like the Royals or their fans.
Ugh, going to Worlds of Fun is just Chiefs and Royals over and over. I'm like, I hate these teams. I felt it in my soul.
Yeah, Kansas City has done a number on Baltimore sports.
Yeah.
They did adjust the fences at Kauffman Stadium. They brought them in
Yeah,
since
it's a
last
gigantic
season.
outfield, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. All right, let's move on to the Twins. I'm going to butcher Luke Keyskull. Is that how you say this guy's name?
Sure.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, he
I'm
looked
not the
pretty good
person to
in
ask.
a little bit of time last year. He's a nice prospect. They've got an interesting catching tandem. They've got Byron Buxton. Is he ever going to get traded? And is he ever going to stay healthy? I don't know. The answer to both those questions appears to be no. I don't like this team. Like they've got a little bit of punch in their lineup, but it's a bunch of big slow guys.
They have Cody Funderburk
There's no team speed.
and a Zebby Matthews.
I don't know about those. Corey, anything about the Twins?
Joe Ryan's a decent arm.
Yeah.
They
Joe
brought
Bauer's
in
not
Victor
walking through that door.
Caratini,
Yeah.
who I think is a decent player.
Yeah.
They brought in Josh Bell, who has been a decent player at times, but I don't
He
know if
adds
he's
to the bad on the bases because he's slow.
right.
can't
So
play defense.
I don't have a whole lot to add about this team. I don't think that this is going to be a good squad. I think that they are a candidate to finish last. I think they're the ones who are really thankful for the White Sox existence.
I think they're safe because of the White Sox. Evan, do you have anything on this team before we move on to the dumbass White
No,
Sox?
it's just
Yeah, this is brutal. White Sox 60-102, which was a market improvement for them.
It was.
They won 19 more games than they had the previous year.
it sounds like the 2021 Orioles or something.
They
Big
were-
upgrade over 2019. You know,
but no,
but still awful.
still terrible. Another year, another bad team is what I wrote down. They've got a good closer in Grant Taylor. Too bad you need a lead to get saves, so I don't think I have to
Not
worry
many
about that.
games to close.
So the only note that I really have here on this team is to keep an eye on Munetaka Murakami, because he was a Japanese player that came over and signed with the White Sox for some reason. He's notable because he's got like Russell Branyan power. Like
Oh dear.
70 game power, 80 raw power on his scouting report. Everything else is 30s. Like 30 speed, 30 glove, 30 bat. But when the man gets a hold of one, apparently it goes really, really
Adam
far.
Dunn.
I guess he's playing for Team Japan in the World Baseball Classic, so maybe you can check him out there. But I expect him to just be maybe a moderately fun player on a pretty crummy team.
They signed Luis Angel Acuna, Ronald Acuna Jr.'s brother.
Is he good like Ronald Acuna Jr. is?
Probably not,
Well,
but
then, okay.
One of their
just wanted to throw out Luis Angel Acuna.
Corey, you're gonna love this. One of their catchers is named Corey Lee, Korey.
I'm okay with that with the K.
Oh,
But with the extra E still?
I-
You hate that.
The extra E makes more sense with the K than no E with a K to me.
What
I don't
would
know
you
why.
pronounce Kory as? That's still Corey.
It's still Corey.
So it's still inefficient, and you hate inefficiency in names.
I don't know. Once you go to a K, just
Well,
have
already
at it.
butchered
Do whatever
as,
you
as
want.
someone who hates anybody who spells Eric with a K, I vehemently disagree. The entire
Are you
prospect-
okay if it's ERIK instead of ERICK?
No, absolutely not. We're not Vikings here. Come on. Like, what is going on here?
You're not a fan of Eric the Red?
I mean, he was a pretty kick-ass Viking conqueror or whatever, but doesn't do it for me. All right.
Jordan Hicks is here. I'm just
Yeah. he
Sir
is.
Anthony Dominguez.
Yes, I noticed that he was there.
Yeah,
Yes.
Eric Fetty. These are just
yeah,
the
Eric
people I've
Fetty.
heard
I
of.
was just gonna say Eric Fetty is like the only name on that rotation that like sounds like a real
Like an
person.
actual
Like,
baseball player.
Andrew Benintendi.
Shane,
Yes.
like Shane Smith is not a real name. Sean
Austin
Burke,
Hayes
Davis
is here.
Martin. Like
Austin Hayes is on that team?
It says Austin Hayes.
Didn't he hit for a cycle against the White Sox?
how do you have somebody named Davis Martin? Why is their last name their first name and their first name their last name?
I don't know.
I mean, I've seen it before.
That's weird.
It is weird. Thank you, Sasquatch, for that. All right, we've kind
Their
of.
stadium sucks too. That place.
All right, well, we've
Yeah,
exhausted
like this is a horrible team
in a horrible division.
that
Yeah.
They don't even
maybe
have
can win more
colors.
games than last year, but somehow I feel like they might actually regress.
The Yankees uniforms have more color.
Imagine
than the White
regressing from
Sox.
102 losses.
It's funny because I look at the projections like every year, and projections are generally pretty like they don't go too high or too low for anybody. But you know somebody's gonna be like that train wreck team that loses 110 games. They're the prime candidate with like the Angels, I think, and maybe the Nationals. We'll get to them next week.
Yeah.
And of course the Rockies are always in that mix too. All right, well, we are just about up on time, so we were going to talk a little bit about Bam Adebayo scoring 83 points, but I think we all kind of knew what that was, which was mostly just an abomination under the watch of Adam Silver and the Washington Wizards being involved. Mm-hmm. Like, let's just be honest.
How is Adam Silver involved in this?
He has done
the alleged
nothing
living and breathing
about
commissioner.
the scourge that is extreme tanking in the NBA. He has just let this go on.
Okay, so this was a tank job on the Wizards' part.
Hell
and-
yes, this was a
okay,
tank job
okay.
on the Wizards' part. Just unconscionable. He took 22 threes and made 7 of them. That's not a good percentage. And he still scored the second most points ever. Because he got 43 free throw attempts, which is the most ever.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And by the way, 22 three-point attempts is the 5th most all time. Like, Steph Curry's only shot more than that once. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
He's
just
probably made most of them.
Steph, when he took 23, made at least like
Well, then hopefully Steph goes and takes like 32 of them when they play the Wizards shortly.
Problem is Steph has had a bum knee. I don't know if he's
yeah.
playing in that game on Monday. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. I mean, shout out to Bam because Bam's a great player. Like he's legitimately good. But if you would ask me to say, pick one guy that's going to score 83, I think I would go through 50 guys before I would land on Bam Adebayo as the guy that did it. Like, that's just no way.
I might have thrown Kyrie Irving's name out there before Bam.
Absolutely, I would have. And he's probably only going to play 5 games this year, if that. I would have thrown Jordan Poole's name out there before Bam Adebayo.
Would you have thrown Ben Simmons' name out there before
No.
Bam? Okay.
No, I wouldn't. Bam's a 3-time All-Star. Let's be respectful. All right, so that does it for this week's episode. Next week, we will be back with the American League and National League East previews that we have.
Some teams that are trying.
And some teams that are hopefully going to be good. But anyway, before we get rolling here, shout-outs. Corey, what do you got?
Just a shout out to Aiden Snatiel, who works in our campus ministry office here at DeMatha, for the work that he did along with the rest of the team in the CMO to put together today's sophomore retreat. It's a lot of moving parts, and it came together quite well. Even with the buses being a little bit late picking us up to start the day, we were able to get through the program in a timely fashion. So shout out to him, because I know that's a very stressful position for him to be in. And then just a quick reminder to everybody listening to keep an eye out on our social media and in the show notes for the picks contest. We'll be hosting the men's and women's NCAA Tournament bracket challenges on ESPN again this year. So be sure to find those and join and fill out your brackets.
I have to re-download that app. It's that time of
Your
the year.
sheet of integrity.
Yeah, even though probably not going to use paper anymore, unfortunately.
Why not?
I don't feel like it. I don't
You
actually
gotta
care
have one
about
on
this.
paper.
I don't really care about this.
Evan,
tournament.
either,
Evan
but
had
you
to
still
be
gotta have one
told
on
that
paper.
Florida won the championship last year
Yeah.
on Monday night.
Goodness.
All right, Evan, what do you got?
This is an unfortunate shout out. Shout out to my Aunt Marie, who passed away over the weekend. So my mom's mother was one of 13 children.
Wow.
And my Aunt Marie was the last of those siblings still living, and she passed away over the weekend.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So shout out to her.
Yeah, sorry for your loss, and shout out to Aunt Marie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my shout out to Evan for experiencing his first and probably his last hockey game. Evan decided he wanted to go to a Caps game this year.
Now, hold on. Did you have fun?
I did have fun.
Would you go again?
I mean, not soon, but yes.
Okay, so it might not be his last one.
Yeah,
there
but,
you go.
but it might be, though. But, yeah, we went down to Capital One Arena. It was me, Sasquatch, Sean, and Evan. The four of us went down there to watch the Caps play the Flames. And the Caps won 7-3. It was
Nice.
quite a game. And unfortunately, we were sitting behind one of the nets, and all 10 goals were scored on the other net. So, yeah,
What?
it was kind of bizarre.
10 goals in a game and all of them in the same net. What are the odds of that?
Not great.
I mean, is that more or less rare than the Caps allowing 2 goals on the same power play?
Yeah, we gave up 2 shorthanded goals on the same power play at the end of the second period.
Power play typically ends on a goal, so how did
No, it
that...
doesn't.
Oh, not
it
on a
does
shorty.
Not.
Not
And I
on a
remember because
shorty.
I was joking
That's
right before they
right.
scored the second. I was like, I
Yes.
personally believe that on shorties the power play should end too, as a punishment.
That makes sense.
It would have also benefited the Caps because then they probably wouldn't have given up the second goal. But and that was to tie the game because the Caps scored 3 goals in the first period, and then the Flames scored a goal like late in the second period. Then the Caps went on the power play, and then they gave up the 2 shorties before the end of the second.
Let's say before halftime.
Goodness.
Yeah, before the second intermission. Yes. But yeah, it was a fun time. Evan almost died. Like,
Yeah.
somehow bizarrely.
Took a bit of a tumble trying to catch a T-shirt. An
Maybe
incredibly
they shouldn't throw the
uncoordinated
t-shirts
maneuver.
from behind you where your back is turned to a decline.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
a
not
good
such
idea.
a great idea.
Yeah, I guess. Normally they come from, like, on a basketball game, they come from the court.
Yeah.
But how are you going to get somebody on the ice? There are people cleaning the ice during the breaks. Like, it's a little tough. You can get a guy with a T-shirt gun skating out there.
Well,
He slap
between
shots.
when they have 40 children playing hockey at the same time,
Yes,
do
Evan-
it then.
Evan got to experience the intermission.
What in the world?
the mites on ice.
That was
Did you get
chaos.
any toddler fights out there?
No
No.
brouhahas with you. We
Bummer.
didn't get any professional fights either. It was a pretty tame game. It wasn't very chippy. But Evan did seem shocked by the fact that pucks were just flying into the crowd.
Yes. just rockets flying in the
Aren't there
crowd.
nets?
There's nets behind the net, but behind the goals.
Oh, but not on the
But
sides.
like on the sides, and there used to not be nets behind the goals.
Kind of dangerous.
Well, you gotta pay
Hockey
attention.
pucks are kind of. I mean, they go fast and they are hard.
Hockey pucks are hard to see.
It's not like you have people in the crowd who are bringing gloves to a hockey game. That's not a
Imagine that.
I
thing.
mean, you
Somebody
don't-
has a goalie glove on their hand.
I mean, you could do that.
You could, but people don't do that.
Most people
this
don't.
isn't baseball.
But most people don't bring gloves to baseball games either. Like
depending on where you're sitting, you might.
usually, no.
I typically bring a glove if I'm sitting in a place that there's a good chance that a baseball
Evan
could
brings
come.
his glove to hold his hot dog. He doesn't
Yeah.
use it to catch the ball because he wouldn't be able to do that anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
This isn't
That-
even. I'm not
Alright,
making
we've-
fun.
That,
yeah.
we've
it is
devolved.
that is 100% true.
Like, I'm
I've
not
said
making
that
fun.
myself.
This is Evan's quote, not mine. I'm not being a dick.
I don't disagree,
Yeah.
right? Like, there's a reason why, the guys on the field are down there, and I had to pay to get in the stadium.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's,
All right, well, we have
what it is.
exhausted our time and then some on this episode, so thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to tune in next week when we do the American League stuff, East and East, I guess, for National League as well. I'm sorry, I was getting myself confused there. Also, World Baseball Classic, resolutions and things like that, and maybe some more NFL free agency. Hopefully no more ridiculous 83-point games in the NBA. But you guys can reach us at thesportsballers@gmail.com if you want to provide us any feedback, or if you're mad at me for suggesting that Bam's 83-point game was an abomination and not something to be celebrated. But hey, come at me, bro. I don't care. You can also follow us on Twitter at SportsBallers18. Remember, we will have updates about the tournament, and you can get the link there as well. And you can follow us individually. Corey is at Corey Puffett. I am at Quagmire67. And Evan is at Evan_Ash13. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back sometime next week. We might have to move this again because I might not be available on Tuesday. But we will try to get this done next week. But until then,